Hi everyone, this is your host, The Strange Connector, and welcome back if you're returning to this channel. Today I thought I'd try something a little bit different from my usual. So it might be a complete disaster, I don't know, and I might be a bit more rambly than usual, if that's even possible. You might also hear some background noises such as helicopters, which love to hover above our home at all hours of the day and night. And I'm now recording at night, but they'll be sure to show up. First, I'll tell you a little bit about what is going on screen. I am going to be showing you something that I did back in March when I wasn't feeling very confident at all, because I just restarted painting and drawing after a long break of, I think, 3 months without making any art at all. I am using my Viceversa sketchbook. As you know, I love Viceversa. I've done some videos on them. It's not sponsored or anything like that. So I'm just showing you what I'm doing, what I do, because this is very thin paper. So this is the 140 GSM sketchbook that's got cotton. It's a special sketchbook. So I use a piece of cardboard and then these plastic sheets that come with the markers. And that's just me. That's just me being paranoid because I paint on both sides. So I want to protect the painting on the other side because they take me a really long time to do. But yeah, you don't have to do that. The paper is really sturdy. And really, really heavily sized, which is great, but also a drawback, as you will see. So it's got good sides and bad sides because you can lift really easily, which can be great, but is also not great because layers get reactivated very easily. So yeah, so I like to stretch it this way, but you don't have to do it. I'll just do that, and I'm just showing you what I do. And let me just show you my palette. I am a massive 1950s Zorro fan, so this is how I distinguish my palettes from one another with these Zorro stickers. And here I'm showing you what paints I use. I use Pyrrole Rubine, Nickel Azo Yellow, and Ultramarine Blue. So I only used 3, and everything that you see me paint with is just those 3 paints mixed. So I've got Silver Black Velvet brush. This is an Art Secret brush, then there is an imitation Silver Black Velvet, and this one is a Zen Art brush. And that's it. So I'll just let the video play, and I'm gonna get back to what was my original plan for this video, which is why this video is a bit different from my usual ones. Basically, I'm just gonna ramble at you freely for the duration of this video and see what happens. And I'm terrified because I feel very exposed. I had a conversation recently in the comments under one of Katie Orsian's, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, let me know if not, under one of her videos. And we were talking about doing kind of like more confessional YouTube videos. And this is something that I've wanted to do for a while. One of the reasons, in fact, that I started my channel was just to kind of, I don't know, chat as my artwork progressed. But then you kind of get sucked into doing videos the way you feel that you're supposed to, because the YouTube algorithm just buries your videos otherwise. And it's kind of depressing. And right now I'm just thinking, what am I doing? Because I mean, I'm not after kind of massive worldwide expansion. I don't even particularly want to make YouTube a career, so who cares? So yeah, so I decided to have a bit of a rambly video, and I'm probably gonna realize it's a huge mistake and never do this again, or do it in a different way with some editing, because I'm aware I ramble quite a bit. I'm very, very self-conscious about it. Yeah, so I feel a bit conflicted about sharing and about showing myself. as a person in general, I get very, very anxious. So I don't know, it's a bit weird that I've actually started a YouTube channel in the first place. And it's this kind of weird push and pull that I have. My partner, in fact, says of me that he knows out of 10, from 0 to 10, he knows 10 and 0. Because I show so much of myself all of the time. Too much, perhaps. And in other ways, I show nothing of myself. So there's parts of me that I keep hidden that I've for some reason I've learned are shameful, but they're not. I don't have any horrible dark secrets or anything like that. And yeah, I don't know. So, you know, like I've got things like, for example, I've got an inner world that I've had since I was a child. With characters that I like to revisit and stories that I make inside my head about those characters. When I was little, I used to do that with Greek mythology and Viking mythology as well, because I'm half Swedish. And yeah, I used to take minor characters in myths and then kind of like spin kind of their story. And I sometimes revisit those places, and some I've dropped altogether. And I also used to do that with Zorro, for example, as well. Zorro was my childhood hero, one of my childhood heroes. Yeah, I just have the very, very intense feelings about things sometimes as well. And I feel ashamed for having those intense feelings, which is kind of, I guess it's kind of a bit sad, actually. And none of the things that I like, that I love, or there's nothing like really, I realise there's nothing really shameful about them, but I don't know, I feel like I'm too much. And yeah, so I guess one of the things that I'm into, for example, is I'm painting a scene from a film called A Bittersweet Life, which is a Korean film, and it's really beautiful. Like the cinematography is beautiful, the music is beautiful, it's really poetic, and I don't know, it just touches me. And oh god, I'm aware I'm saying and a lot. I'm umming and ahhing and saying and a lot, and this is why I usually spend about 5 days just editing the sound to remove all the ums and ahs from my videos. But today you're getting me unfiltered. I'm sorry. Yeah, I feel very intensely about books, about films, about TV series, about sunsets, about my inner world. And sometimes I feel that intensity of feeling is wrong or too much. So I keep it hidden and I keep it to myself. But I've come to realize, now that I'm adult, I've come to realize that it's something that is really, really vital to me. And I think I express some of it through art making. But I still keep a lot of it hidden. And maybe I want to keep some of it hidden because I want it to be mine and mine alone. So yeah, so it's a bit of a contradiction. Oh god, I'm really rambling, I'm so sorry. Meanwhile, on the screen, I am realizing that what I'm doing with this painting, I can see where it all went wrong. And I think that now, a few months later, I would probably not do a lot of the things that I did to this painting. That said, I still really love it because I love this film, and this frame is so beautiful. The cinematography of this film is just so gorgeous. So yeah, so I don't regret painting it. But now I would probably avoid doing layering of washes quite so much on this paper because it's very smooth. It's basically hot press. So now I would just go in with the blue, and I would avoid the ultramarine blue. I would probably use a staining color. I would use a phthalo blue-green shade instead. Just staining colors, because as you'll see later on, when I kind of go over with washes to soften the edges, everything just reactivates, and I ended up with streaks all over the place on this particular painting. I mean, it still looks okay, but it looks like it's come out of a printer that's running out of ink. You'll see it anyway. So where was I in my rambling at you? I don't know, shall I tell you some of the things that I'm into at the moment? At the moment, I'm actually finding it quite hard to read, which makes me really sad. I'm finding it really hard to focus on books. It's probably not a massive shocker, hearing me ramble this much, that I have been diagnosed with ADHD, which I feel kind of conflicted about. Not because I'm conflicted about the idea of ADHD, it's just that I in some ways, I feel I fit into that label. In other ways, I don't. For example, I'm usually incredibly perfectionistic, so I don't tend to make careless mistakes, and that's just one example. And I also don't feel like I get bored. Or maybe I don't know what bored means. I don't know. I feel like I'm too stressed most of the time to feel bored. And also, like I mentioned, I've got this kind of inner world, this paracosm, so I can do things like wait in line. Like one time I waited in line for 7 hours, long story. But I can just go into my inner world and make up stories with characters and places, and so I entertain myself. So I'm never bored in that way. And that's, I'm not impatient. So, well, I'm impatient, very impatient with technology. I'm incredibly impatient with technology. But yeah, I don't know. So I feel kind of a bit weird, and I wish like I could look at the diagnosis and what people say about it and just go, yeah, that's exactly me, and have this kind of revelation, and I would feel like a weight's been lifted off my shoulders. And now I feel instead like I'm in this weird limbo. There's more reasons for it, actually. One of the reasons was that I've tried the medication and I had a really weird reaction to it. And yeah, so it made me feel sad and uneasy. And then I tried another medication and it worked, but it had a lot of side effects, so I had to get taken off it. So yeah, so anyway, in some ways I feel like the diagnosis fits, in other ways I feel like it doesn't fit. Anyway, long parenthesis, that started with books and why I'm struggling to read at the moment. And I'm somebody who absolutely loves books. In fact, the longer the book, the more I love it a lot of the time. I speak French, so I have read, to give you an example, I've read the entirety of À la recherche du temps perdu by Proust, and I would recommend it to anybody who's into art. And you know, like I was talking about feeling really strongly about things, Proust was somebody who wrote about feeling really strongly about things, and a lot of the things are art. So I find that book incredibly poetic and beautiful and moving. And my problem is that I feel things and I know what I'm feeling, but I struggle to articulate it. So that's one of the reasons I make art. But I'm trying to explain to you guys in words what that book made me feel, and I can't. Anyway, I recommend it. It's also a bit enraging because in many ways he was not a great person as well. So yeah, so I have mixed feelings about him. But yeah, his way of seeing art and the world, as in the beauty of the world, I really, really relate to, in the same way that I relate to somebody like David Lynch as well, intensely. Yeah, and this all started because I was going to tell you things that I'm into. So I've had a problem reading for a while, for the past year since I finished my course. So since I can't read, what I've been doing is I have been watching a lot of K-drama, which kind of brings me to the this painting. I mean, that's not a K-drama, it's a film, but it's a Korean film. So I've been watching a lot of Korean series, and in part because they've got that thing, so that the cinematography is so beautiful, the music is so beautiful, even the titles are beautiful, everything about them is really beautiful. And sometimes the shows are rubbish, but they still look beautiful. Yeah, so I have a tendency to like K-dramas that are depressing, rather than the happy ones or silly ones. Yeah, so my favorite K-dramas so far are Our Blues, which is just My Mister, which is also another K-drama. Maybe I'll tell you about it more another time, because I think I'm running out of time on this video because I rambled so much. So yeah, My Mister, Our Blues, I really, really love. And then Squid Game, because I love Squid Game, and I can write you an essay about Squid Game. Yes, and I loved season 3 of Squid Game. Absolutely loved it, and I wouldn't change it. Well, I will change some things, but not the ending. And because I related to it really, really intensely for personal reasons. And this is usually one of those things that I don't talk about, that I keep to myself. But anyway. And what else? So I've got a top 4. What's the top 4? Our Blues, My Mister, Mr. Sunshine, and Squid Game. And as I'm running out of time, this is all that I'm going to say, that I'm going to leave you with. Let me know if this video is a bit too much. And I think maybe if I record another one another time, I might be a little bit less rambly, because I will be a little less stressed about just being let loose on a microphone. And thank you for bearing with me. I hope you enjoyed some of this, and I shall see you hopefully next time. Bye bye.